Who was Krishna? What can we learn from him and his life-changing words? Who was he? Well, it depends on who you ask. To some, he was a great teacher. To others, he was a dear friend. And to many, he was the supreme God himself. His name was Krishna, and he is the protagonist of one of the greatest epics ever written, the Bhagavad Gita. In today's video, we will be looking at who he was, what were his 4 most life-changing quotes, and what we can learn from him. So let's get started. Who was Krishna? Well, in simple terms, Krishna was an avatar of Lord Vishnu. He was born as the 8th avatar of Lord Vishnu to restore balance back to the world of man, as all avatars of Vishnu strive to do, but in different ways. We can say that Krishna was the most human of all the avatars of Vishnu, as opposed to Lord Rama, who was considered the ideal man. In my opinion, Krishna was more akin to a trickster god, because he always did everything with an all-knowing smirk on his face. Throughout his youth he was a very troublesome boy, stealing butter, playing games, romancing, and causing all sorts of mischief by the lanes of Gokul. As he grew into a man, he realized his destiny, donned his Sudarshan chakra, an infallible discus weapon, and took up his role as the preserver of mankind. He worked to teach humanity the right way to live their life, and so he did. He taught many great lessons through his stories, through his parables, and through his own personal example. What were his 4 most life-changing quotes? The first quote is, "Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one." This is such a powerful quote because it teaches us that life is not really an exam where you need to pray for an easy question. Life is more like an adventurous roller coaster ride full of ups and downs. And it is during these tough times that we learn who we are, what we are made of, and how strong we can be. So instead of running away from our problems, Krishna tells us to face them head on, and to use them as an opportunity to grow and become stronger. His second quote is, "A person's duty is determined by his nature, by his inclinations, by his abilities, and also by his position." Now this may sound like a lot of pressure, but actually, it is quite the opposite. Because think about it, if you are not doing your duty, then who will do it? If you are sitting around waiting for someone else to come and save the day, then you are only making things worse. Krishna is telling us that each and every one of us has a duty to perform, and it is our dharma which gives our life meaning and purpose. It is our duty which makes us feel fulfilled and happy. So whatever your situation is, whatever your circumstances are, you have a goal to fulfill. And by fulfilling your dharma in life, you are not just helping yourself, but you are also helping others. His third quote is, "Abandon all varieties of attachment and come to me with a surrendered mind. I shall protect you from all dangers." Now this is a very comforting quote, because it tells us that we don't have to go through life alone. We don't have to carry the burden of the entire world on our shoulders. We can always turn to our beliefs and our own version of God for help. Whether your God be an ancient deity or yourself, we can always surrender our problems to seek proper help. Because no matter what our problems are, no matter how big or small they may seem, our beliefs and our dharma, or our truth, is always there to help us. We just need to have faith and leave the rest to the universe. His fourth quote is, "You have the right to work, but never to the fruits of work. Work as a matter of duty. Renounce attachment to results." Now this is a very practical quote for everyday living, because it teaches us that we cannot control everything. Yes, we can plan, and we can make efforts, but ultimately it is the universe who decides the results. So instead of worrying about the outcome, we should focus on doing our part and leave the rest to the self-evident truths we aspire to uncover. This does not mean that we become lazy or careless. On the contrary, it means that we work with diligence and dedication, but without getting attached to the results. Now the question is, what can we learn from Krishna? Are his words life-changing? I believe they are, which is why people from all over the world, from different cultures, races and creeds, Heed his words and lessons. I think there are two important lessons we can learn from him. The first lesson is to always remain calm and composed no matter what the situation is. Krishna was never seen panicking or losing his cool. Even in the toughest of situations, he remained calm and found a peaceful solution with an all-knowing childlike smile on his face. The second lesson we can learn from Krishna is to always be selfless and altruistic. Krishna never did anything for his own personal gain. He was always ready to sacrifice everything for the greater good of humanity. It can be said, though, that he played favorites and only did things for certain people because they lined up with his own mission and the way he saw things. This could be partially true, but the only reason he took such sides was because that side was the side of truth. The Dharma was evident through their actions. Truth is everything, and truth always stood by every action he took, even if those actions seemed to break rules, were underhanded, and went against his own views. He did these things for the bigger picture, that the eternal truth was more important, and whatever minor lies for the greater good were acceptable. We can see his childhood naughtiness coming out in these aspects of his personality, showing human nature through the mind and body of a god. So these were 4 life-changing quotes from Krishna, and the important lessons we can learn from him. Thank you for watching, and remember, even a god incarnated on earth can display the same behaviors as you and I. So the next time you want to be hard on yourself for your imperfect behavior, think of the blue one and shine.